I'm George Socha here at the University of Florida, Levin College of Law on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday afternoon down here. And we are here for the 4th annual University of Florida EDRM Electronic Discovery Conference. I have with me one of our speakers, Canaan. Canaan, why don't you introduce yourself, and then I've got some specific questions I want to ask you that we discussed a little earlier.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Canaan Himmelbaum with Advanced Discovery. I'm the VP of Business Development, and I'm also a double gator, so I'm happy to be back, and it certainly is a beautiful day.
It is. We don't get days quite like this earlier early in the year up in Minnesota. It just doesn't happen.
And not in New Jersey either.
Yeah.
So.
Well, last year we started, and this year we continued again with a program that gave students at the law school the opportunity during the conference to interview with some of the folks whose organizations are involved in the conference. And you participated last year, you've participated again this year.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about how that program has worked for you, your experiences, and what benefits come for everyone from that.
You know, it's a great question, George. For us at Advanced Discovery, one of the things is, and me being what I would call a recovering attorney, I want to go back to the law schools, which are very theory-based, and add a practical component, right?
Right.
And so in talking to Professor Hamilton and kind of talking about what the students here that are going through his course in e-discovery, I was like, why don't we do an internship and externship and get one of the students up to one of our major offices in the U.S. So Advanced Discovery has 16 offices, and we chose D.C. And why did we choose D.C.? It has every one of our offerings, from the forensic collections to the processing, hosting, and project managers, all the way through document review. And so really what we did last year is we started that as an externship, an unpaid externship. And we had one of the students here who was a 2L come for the summer, and we built a program around it, and she had a wonderful summer, and we're back again this year to do the same thing, but now this time as an internship.
Okay.
So
how will it look different as an internship this year?
Just a paid internship.
Okay.
But I will tell you, the idea
right
behind it for us is to get this person more involved on a day-to-day basis with making strategic decisions along with us, to see if they can then become an employee. The goals, I put up 3 goals in the interviews today, and number 1 was have fun. Can you have fun? Do you fit into the culture? Number 2 was learn something and collaborate. And the third one was get hired. So the goal of it is to come back to law schools where people believe that I've got to go to on-campus interviews and go with one of the top 10 law firms in the country, and that's what my goal is, versus, hey, let's do something practical. Let's go through law school, let's learn some things, but then let's have a practical experience where we can actually go into the law and understand it and make a difference immediately. Right?
That gives them the opportunity, unlike so many graduates, recent and distant, to actually walk into a place with some practical skills, I gather.
Absolutely. The other thing is that the industry, obviously we talk about this all the time, is now a $12 billion industry, and they say by 2020 will be $20 billion industry. So there are good paying jobs. There's a lot of things that these students can learn over the course of time, but being with us and being in a practical perspective rather than the theoretical based.
Right.
So we love to do it, and obviously supporting the University of Florida is important to me and important to our organization. So,
good. Yeah. Changing gears a little bit, you were just on a panel. As is always the case with a presenter on a panel, I am sure you didn't get to say everything you wanted to say. And there are other panelists, there's a moderator, audience members have their own questions. So what would you like to have covered in the panel that you did not get to?
You know, that's really interesting. I had a great panel, and I think I was blessed to be on that panel. All of these folks have these great credentials. But one of the things that I would say, and I guess I did get a chance to say, but we'll reiterate it, is to the corporations out there and the law firms out there, is to approach e-discovery in the same perspective that they would approach potential trial at the end of the case. You're always preparing your evidence, and so that's what e-discovery is. And so I just want people to be more in tune with the fact that this is a subject matter, it's very important, and it's the most costly. So the earlier they prepare, the better off that they'll be. Using technology-assisted review, of course, every time.
So for law students, availing themselves of an internship of the kind you're offering is a great opportunity. What about for law firms? I mean, how can they get a better understanding of how to effectively deal with the challenges that e-discovery poses, the challenges we've been hearing about all day today.
Well, yeah, and so that's one of the things from the externship or internship is that students will come out of school understanding these, obviously the federal rules have now changed again. They'll understand those things. They'll understand the practicality of the business, right? They'll also understand how a legal case actually works from beginning to end. I think that then the law firms will be hiring these people who have these set of what I would call skills, versus if you took my generation, which is graduated now almost 12 years ago, we didn't have any of these practical courses, and therefore we didn't come into it knowing it. So things like Professor Hamilton's doing with his university, things that he's doing here at the University of Florida, there are other universities doing it. I think that law firms can pay more attention to that when they're actually hiring an associate rather than just the GEP and the A, right?
Right.
So I think that's very important. And anything that we can do at Advanced Discovery as we kind of grow this program out, we want to bring more students into the fold, right?
Great.
The one question I always ask,
yes,
and I think this is key, is I say, do me a favor and go home after this interview and think to yourself, are you okay with not ever practicing law when you leave law school? And most students will say the path that I choose to take is not to become the partner at the law firm, but to effectuate the partner at the law firm by providing my advice and guidance. So I'm really very proud to be a part of the University of Florida, proud to be a part of Advanced Discovery, and proud to be at this conference.
Wonderful.
And I hope it goes on for many, many more years.
So do I.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for stopping by to talk with us today. Thank you as well for being a speaker at this conference and supporting the efforts we all make. And finally, thanks for the internship, externship program.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Great.